Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the videos.
Hello all, welcome to Ganesh IAS Academy. This is the special session related to the previous year question discussion on which we are going to discuss the economic topic questions. Okay, so it is actually to provide you the certain overview of how the questions are framed and why the questions are asked in prelims. Okay, so by that you can forecast whatever questions they may ask in the future prelims. Okay, for that it is like to give you the overview of prelims. Okay, let's get into the discussion. Okay, this question is all about inflation indexed bond. Okay, so we already discussed about what is indexation, but once again I will discuss it. Okay, what is called as inflation indexation? Okay, so inflation indexation is nothing but consider that AB. So B is borrowing a money from A, 100 rupees. Okay, with the interest rate of 2%. Okay, for a time period of 4 months. Okay, using this 100 rupees, he is going to buy certain things like consider it is a hero pen. Okay, by using this 100 rupees he is going to buy a pen. Okay, after 4 months he is going to return the money to A as 102 rupees because the interest rate is 2%. Okay, but the concern is in the inflationary market. Okay, the every product in the inflationary market faces certain inflation in their product. Okay, so consider that it is in the inflationary market. If the A is going to buy the same hero pen after 4 months, means the inflation in the market is considered as 10%. Okay, so the hero pen will be rated as 110 rupees. Okay, so with this 102 rupees he can't buy 110 rupees pen. Okay, so here in the inflationary market the beneficiary of the inflationary market is only the borrower. So whoever being a borrower, they will get benefited from the inflationary market. Okay, so consider that with 110 rupees he can't afford 102 rupees, he can't afford to buy 110 rupees pen. Okay, so he actually lost of 8 rupees. Okay, but this borrower actually he is benefited from this inflation of 10 rupees. Okay, now he is owning a hero pen but he can't. Okay, so this is called as inflation. Okay, this is happened due to inflation. Okay, what the inflation indexation will do is this interest rate is not a fixed thing in the inflation indexed market, which means if there is a 10% inflation in the market, means the interest rate will be in a floating form connected to the inflation, which means the interest rate he need to pay after 4 months will be 10% of inflation plus 2% as interest rate. So if A is lended money of the interest rate that is made on the inflation indexation, means the person B have to return a money as 112 rupees. Okay, so if the interest rate is indexed for a inflation, means then the borrower have to repay money as 112 rupees, which means 10 rupees for the inflation and 2 rupees for the interest rate. So with that he can easily buy a pen of 110 rupees and also he will get benefited by 2 rupees for just lending a money to B. Okay, so this is called as inflation indexation. Okay, so the inflation indexation is actually giving benefit to the lender. Okay, if there is no inflation indexation, the beneficiary will be the borrower. Okay, so the inflation indexation is somewhat try to provide the benefit towards the lender. Okay, so whatever thing that is inflation indexed means, it is the norm, the interest rate will be paid with consideration of the inflation into that interest rate. Okay, so this is the broad idea of the inflation indexed bond. Okay, so or else it is the broad idea of the inflation indexation. Okay, so with this basic knowledge you try to just solve this question. So with reference to the Indian economy, what are the advantages of inflation indexed bond? Okay, first consider the second statement. IIBS provide protections to the investors from uncertainty regarding the inflation. Yeah, it's true, because whoever going to lend the money, they are called as investors. Okay, they will be protected from the inflation, because the interest rate will be contains the inflation indexation. Okay, so they won't lose any money, okay, after the inflation in the market. Okay, so the second statement is actually correct. Okay, so by that you can eliminate option C. Okay, now you have to find any one of the statement whether it is true or wrong. Okay, let's consider. First of all, inflation indexed bonds, which are normally issued by government of India. Okay, so the bond issuer of the inflation indexed bond is only government. Okay, they started to issuing this inflation indexed bond from 1997. Since 1997 they are issuing the inflation indexed bond. Okay, by that consider the first statement. Government can reduce the coupon rates on its borrowing by way of IIBC. I already said that government is going to issue the inflation indexed bond, which means they have all rights to change the coupon rate for the bond. Okay, so the first statement also correct. Okay, the government can reduce the coupon rate. Yeah, it's true. Okay, let's consider the third statement. Interest received as well as capital gain on inflation indexed bonds are not taxable. Okay, so here comes a trap. So the taxation, all this thing will be changes from year to year based on the budgetary thing. Okay, they may put a tax, or they will reduce a tax, or they will just slap out the taxes. Okay, that thing will be changes for every budgetary speech. Okay, for every budget they will change it. Okay, so here the interest rate as well as the capital gain. Okay, normally government won't cut down the taxes on the capital gains. Okay, so by that itself you can come to say that this statement is wrong. So even though interest rates are not taxable in the inflation indexed bond, the capital gain from that inflation indexed bond is taxable. But the statement is saying that as well as the capital gain. No, the capital gain from the inflation indexed bond is actually taxable. Okay, so from that the third statement is wrong. Okay, so by that you are eliminating the third statement, means the option A 1 and 2 is the correct one. Okay, so first India issued this inflation linked bond in 1997. Since then they are issuing the inflation indexed bond with both principal and interest rate, both are connected to or adjusted with the inflation. Okay, so why the question is asked? Okay, the question is asked because taxes deflate the inflation bonds, which means they are putting certain taxes on the inflation indexed bonds, that is actually reducing the investors towards investing on this inflation indexed bond. Okay, so there is huge taxes on certain bonds, that is reducing the investments towards the bond. Okay, for that it is in the newspaper, so they asked it. Okay, so this is the basic idea about the inflation indexed bond. Okay.